stomach really hard, and it took the wind out of her breath. Eventually, she began to fight back because she had just had enough of his crap. She said that he was mentally, emotionally, and physically abusing her. He would always compare her to Cassie and tell her that she's the bad one and Cassie's the good one. She said that everyone around Diddy allowed this abuse to happen. Yeah, that story was particularly sad because she did mention that she saw her own mom being abused by her father and thought that the way Diddy was treating her was what you do when you love someone. He would apparently get into really jealous ranges, and she said that there was a time when they were at some event and Meek Mill was there. I don't know if it was his birthday or something, but Meek Mill was there and she shook his hand, and Diddy saw that she was shaking his hand, and they stayed for maybe about 20 minutes at this party, and in the car he just started to attack her in this rage. Dropped her off on the side of the street in New York, and she had to get a taxi back to her apartment. Just horrible. Okay, I'm going to talk about Aubrey O'Day. So Aubrey O'Day was on an episode of Call Her Daddy, and she said that she was really fired because she was not willing to do what Diddy expected of her. And we're not talking about talent-wise, but in other areas. She said that she was the only girl in those types of situations. She said, I have such a love-hate with all of it because I don't think I would have been able to be so successful in so many other areas had I not been trained under Diddy. He was the hardest person you could work for, and it was torture. And not the work part of it, but the other stuff, the mind games. There was a lot of betrayal, a lot of lies. Diddy would be like, "You're not hot anymore. Like, what happened? You don't have any curves. I can't get people to think that you're my good-looking person." And she said that there was no Me Too at the time. There was no protecting anyone at the time. You signed 1 million NDAs and 1 million contracts that took your rights away. She said that he actually asked her to sign an NDA to never disparage him and his record label. And she said that she was not going to sign that NDA, and also advised everybody else in the group, Dandy Kane, to not sign it as well. Cindy Rivetta. This woman was Diddy's former chef. She filed a harassment and hostile work environment lawsuit in 2017, alleging that she regularly served on one occasion, one night when they were at home at Kim's house, he wanted to put his hands on her in the wrong way, and Kim took a corkscrew, and I'll put the picture up here, took a corkscrew and got him in his right wrist, and she hit an artery, and when she did that, he had to rush over to St. Luke's Hospital. He now has a scar on his wrist for the rest of his life. Also, when she would go out into the city, Diddy would take the babysitter that she assigned to watch her kids with him and his crew, and they would go around to different spots in New York looking for her wherever the babysitter thought that she could be. And this happened even when they were not in a relationship. It was just his form of exerting control over her. And Albie Shore, which was Kim's ex-husband, who she has the oldest son with, Quincy. Albie Shore, when he heard of all of this, he said, I thought that Diddy got through this phase. I thought that age would slow him down or mature him, but apparently he hasn't changed. So that's all for now. But I will say, I did hear another content creator make this comment, and it's so true, that Diddy is a predator in every way, not just with the women, but in his business. You look at the artists on his label, he has very few actually successful artists. And all the artists that were with him from the 90s and even more recently, 2000s and whatever, they're not living anywhere close to how Diddy is living. Diddy claims to be a billionaire. I don't know if that's even true. But he is living life very, very well. And his artists seem to have been starving and not living the life that they worked hard for. Even when he had his show, Making the Band, the way that he would treat the people that had a dream, that really wanted to find success, really trusted this mogul to help them succeed in their careers. Number one, where are they now? And number two, he treated them as a joke, making them do horrible, just things that you need to do this, that you learned work ethic, or you need to show me that you really want this. It's just predatory. And Aubrey's right. I think she would have had way more success if she was signed to some different label. Yeah. Also, two things. Carisha from the City Girls. I actually did end up watching a little live that they did together, and obviously you cannot really understand the context of an entire relationship in a live, but it seemed that the way that he was talking to her was a bit condescending, you know, side, his dark side from his kids, so it wouldn't be hard for me to imagine that his kids would not believe this because they've never seen their dad act this way. They probably would think, no, my dad is this man, you're talking about someone else, this cannot be true. But it's too many people coming forward. I definitely believe Diddy's a predator. I just feel so sad for the daughters, all of his kids, because they already lost their mom. Not Christian, Combs Christian still has a mom. And he has another daughter as well that has her mom. But the other kids already lost their mom, and they may just be losing their dad. I know that Kitty, mixed Cassie and Diddy. I know that Cassie did apparently settle with Diddy. That money is, even if she got $100 million, how much ever, that money is not going to make those memories go away and ease the PTSD that she has. After dealing with a monster, I'm so happy that she found love and has her own family now. And I thought when I first heard that she got with her trainer, with Diddy's trainer that he hired for her, or he just had hired, and she was working out with him, I was like, okay, that's strange, but this man really saved her. And I'm wondering how they stayed safe, to see how predatory, how controlling, how horrible he was with Cassie, controlling every aspect of her life. How in the heck did he not go after Alex fine and find some way to try to destroy them? What made him stop chasing her? What made him stop threatening the people that she was in a relationship with? That's my question. When did it really stop for her? Because after over 10 years, how did she finally get away from him? But I'm really happy for her where she is now, and I really pray for her mental health, because you really got a thing that was torture, absolute torture, and something that you live with every day. And I'm so happy she came forward, because now everybody else is coming forward, and even though she settled, I hope he goes to prison for a long time. I hope, as they say, he goes under the jail. And Kim Porter, I never heard her say anything bad about Diddy or their relationship, but I pray too that if that's true about him breaking her nose, about him abusing her, that she gets her justice as well. It's absolutely disgusting, the men in this music industry. It's Diddy especially, well, not especially, there's many men like Diddy, but Diddy, if you look at him, the way he talks, he really thinks he is the king of the world. It's sickening. He really thinks he's the king of the world, talking about, now call me love, I'm love, it's all love, good vibrations, I'm my meditation room, or you're beating up your girlfriend. It's just sick. So I really hope that he goes to jail for it. Put them all away, lock them all up. I literally was on the verge of tears reading what happened to Cassie and listening to all the other women. It's just unimaginable. And it really touched me when